Yo! Welcome back to Lockdown Universe, home of the bizarre, peculiar, and unheard of stories of UFO legend and paranormal lore. Welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. Was it? Yeah, I'm not the best guitar player in the world. But welcome back. Happy to be back. Hopefully you guys are having a great weekend. I'm having a good weekend, and I don't know about you guys, but I've just been like totally drained of energy for the past few, weeks, man. I don't know if it's just like, Midwest winter, and it's just like taking it out of me, or getting older, or what the hell it is. But honestly, it sucks. I'm not a big fan. I don't know. Maybe I need to eat my spinach and take my vitamins like Popeye. But anyway, I wanted to get back to Epstein. I did a podcast about Epstein last time, and I wanted to get into like how, because I don't want this to happen again. I want the signs to be there for a lot of people, and just to know about kind of how he rose to power and how he was able to basically have control over a lot of America. And I think he's still alive. And I think that's the big key here, is that we can talk about why people think he's still alive, and how that whole prison thing went down, where there was a minute missing in the videotape. Why would there be a minute missing? I know it was right at midnight, but why would there be a minute missing? And is it possible that, given his high level and stance in society, his high financial capability, and people that wanted to protect secrets could have made a clone of him and could have put him in that prison? Meaning they could have actually made a real clone of Epstein, put him in that prison, made it look like he hung himself, and that's it. Right, and then if it had the DNA of him, right? If it had his DNA, which is clearly what they can do. I mean, we've already done it with a damn sheep back in like the 90s. So we already cloned Dolly the sheep. You can clone your dog if you got $20,000. My wife wants to clone her damn dog. I'm like, you're out of your goddamn mind, man. We don't got that kind of money. Who you got on the side? Because it ain't me. She's crazy. So dog's cute, but not $20,000 cute. No offense, love dogs, but if you clone it, it's not the same. It's not the same dog. It just looks the same. So anyway, so is it possible? Because think about this. Think about what it would take. I'm going to jump right in. Fuck it. I'll get to how Epstein rose to power and kind of all that stuff. But I want to get into the conspiracy shit. That's what we want to talk about anyway, right? That's what we want to talk about. So think about this for a second. You might be asking yourself, how would it be possible for them to put a clone into the cell and the prison guards not know it? Well, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that we are abducted by aliens and us not know it? That the people around us don't know that there's a fucking spaceship above our house? Sorry to swear. And everybody else is asleep? Very rarely do you see an abduction happen. The only time it's ever been seen that somebody was taken out of their apartment was that one in New York, where the woman was coming out of the high-rise, Natalie or something like that, Compataliano. So she was taken out of her high-rise in like 1988 or some shit. And there was a bunch of weird stuff, including high officials in the UN and ambassador stuff going on there. But anyway, the point is that if they wanted to get Epstein out of his cell, they could have easily used high technology, a frequency tool, to knock out everybody on in the entire prison if they wanted to. Knock out everybody in the entire prison, go in, move somebody out, erase the minute of the tape that it would take to do it, and then bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a fake dead Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, you got pictures of Epstein over in Israel with Israeli bodyguards with a full beard on. Now, if you search that picture, there's a lot of articles that say it's been debunked that there's a Gemini AI watermark in the bottom right-hand corner. Well, that's all fine and good, but that could be easily fixed, put in there if somebody in the government wanted to do that. Early reports stated that picture itself was put through an AI technology detector tool that said that it had full veracity, that it was an actual picture of Epstein in Israel. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy. And it is him in the picture. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If you look it up, I mean, it's fucking legit, man. Here, I can even pull it up for you. So what do you think? I mean, I think he's still alive. I think that, here, I'll pull up a picture right now. You want to see it? Bearded Epstein. Yeah, here we go. This is fucking nuts. There you go. Oh, gotta get it in. There he is. Bearded Epstein. Yep. Picture of Epstein hanging out with some Israelis. Now, there's all kinds of stuff on the internet saying this image is fake, but there's a lot of people and a lot of reports that say that this is verified, and they put it through an AI faker generated. A viral photo showing a bearded Jeffrey Epstein walking freely in Israel. Some claim it proves he's alive, while others call it fake or AI generated. Well, all you got to do is put it through an AI generator, right? It's not like this dude had a beard at some point with long hair at some point. This dude was always clean shaven, always business professional, always looking like he was like ready to go to a business meeting at a moment's notice. So I think it's definitely possible for him to be out there. But, in all honesty, I mean, if he was out there, the beard's good. The long hair's good. But you would think that they would have even more technology to be able to hide him, to do a better job of disfiguring his face somehow, whether it was technologically or actual physical manipulation. Tons of people get plastic surgery to look different than what they are, and some people get plastic surgery to mask who they used to be. There was a case where this guy was dating this woman. He got 40 plastic surgeries on his face, and when he did that, he was able to date her again. The only way he got called out on it was not by the girl that he redated after he had all these surgeries, but from a friend who called him out on it because she noticed his mannerisms were very similar to her ex-boyfriend. Interesting, right? So let's get back to, Epstein and kind of how he rose to power, should we? So we're talking, I did a little bit of background because I was listening to a couple podcasts, and man, do they have a lot of history on this dude. And all these jobs that he got, from like day one, he didn't qualify for. So it's almost as if this dude either had somebody, getting his back and pushing him through with anybody that he wanted to get a job with, which there's nepotism out there easily, and he could have got a job with somebody. Or Epstein has some sort of mental power to get people to cater to him and give him positions. I know that sounds crazy, but if he truly is a reptilian, like we were talking about in the last podcast, the reptilian race can definitely have a hold on you and definitely say, hey, you're going to do what I say. I look a certain way. I look human, but in all reality, they're just mentally dominating you. They're at will doing whatever they want to do. Now, you could laugh and say, oh, that's not real. Come on, lockdown. And I would agree with you. However, Ingo Swann, who was hired by the government, stated that he ran into shapeshifters right in front of him. He went to a restaurant, a grocery store in Canada, and he would believe it was Toronto, and he was in the grocery store, and it was a woman in a red dress. However, she was talking to him, and she said, "Excuse me, I need to talk to you for a second." And he's like, "Well, hell yeah, of course I'm going to talk to you." Then she showed him her true form as a reptilian. She's like, "Hey, just don't talk about this, don't talk about us, da 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 da. Go ahead, keep doing what you're doing, but just be careful about this." And he said, "Oh my gosh, okay." And so he actually wrote that, and that he encountered that kind of a being in a grocery store in Toronto, I believe it was, in the 80s, and he had been working as a psychic spy for America for quite some time, working with Stanford Research Institute, and he was like one of the forefathers of remote viewing, of the psychic spy program. And for him to come out and say that there are reptilian shapeshifters really puts it in perspective, to say that these are a real deal and they can really exist. And if that's true, then Epstein could be true. He could be a reptilian shapeshifter. And if he was a reptilian shapeshifter, then he could have made a lot of things happen. He could have waved his hand and said, I'm not the Epstein you're looking for," and walked right out of the prison, walked right out of the police station. That's why we have so many pictures of all these celebrities that look like they're so different from what they used to be. It doesn't make any sense. And it probably doesn't make sense because they're probably clones. It's like the Revenge of the Clones, or the Clone Wars. These things are biologically replicated entities of real factual human beings that for some reason want to hide or want to get away. And if that's the case, you got enough money, the right people, you can make it happen. People will do things for money. That's just the way it boils down. If you got enough of it, shit, they'll make you a replicant. Absolutely, 100%. It'll look like you, smell like you, and it doesn't have to be exactly like you, right? It just has to look like you and have the right DNA. What else are they going to do? Boom. I mean, it could be totally stupid. As long as it's got the DNA and it looks like you, it is you. It is you. By all scientific means, it is you. If it has your fingerprints and it has your DNA, you're good to go. You can go live in the Bermudas as long as you want and be probably as safe as you want, because you can't get double jeopardy. They already arrested the guy. You know what I mean? Burn your fingerprints off. Shit, man. I don't know what to tell you. But anyway, so here we go, right? So let's look at this. So if we're talking about Epstein's, kind of rise to notoriety, he was hired in the mid-1970s to teach math and physics at the Dalton School in New York, which was a very famous high-level elite school. He didn't even have a bachelor's degree. How the fuck you get a job as a teacher teaching physics and math? You don't even have a bachelor's degree. Did not have a college degree. He was attending Cooper Union and later NYU. But he didn't have a degree. How do you get a job as a teacher? Dalton, the school, like I said, it typically requires a bachelor's degree. He was reportedly hired despite lacking credentials, allegedly due to connections and strong performance in interviews. Mental telepathy, mental domination of the individual he was getting hired with, right? That's all he needs, is to be able to master manipulate somebody. That's what these salespeople do. They master manipulate you into buying a car that you barely wanted, right? So let's go to the next one. So he moved from teaching into high finance. So he's teaching some kids how to do some 2 + 2. And then all of a sudden he's doing 2 billion times 2 billion over on Wall Street. So he gets a job as a senior executive at Bear Stearns. Bear Stearns is I don't know if they're still in business, it is or was one of the highest financial institutions and firms in all of Wall Street. So Yeah, it's here that Epstein met Alan Greenberg, and Greenberg's son had attended Dalton, so he's going through connections. And so he moved on up and got a job in 1976. Started as a low level assistant, but rose quickly to become a limited partner within a few years. Nice. Boy, that's some cushy money right there. And this was unusual for someone without a degree. Have you ever seen that show called Suits? Yeah, well, the kid that gets the job that's in the show, right? There's two people, the two men that are always in the ad for Suits. Well, the young one gets a job with the older one, and the young guy, Mike, gets a job. He does, and all the requirements to get that job are that you went to Harvard and you got a master's, and that's the requirement. They won't hire anybody from any other college at all. You have to go to Harvard and you have to have, I think it's a master's, and he got a job there without having either one. So interesting. So if you can manipulate people, you can get what you want. So he leaves Bear Stearns in 1981 after getting in there in 1976. There's some conflicting accounts as to why. Some reports suggest he left voluntarily, while others indicate he might have been asked to leave over regulatory concerns involving a client, although no criminal charges resulted at that time. So again, it sounds like Mr. Epstein was probably doing something illegal that he shouldn't have been doing. I mean, who leaves a cushy partner job where you're making, good six figures? I'm talking not low six figures. I'm talking good six figures. So he launches his own firm because he likes money, and money can buy you power, and money can buy you women, right? And this is where it gets interesting because after he leaves Bear Stearns, he markets himself as a financial manager for billionaires. He claims to work only with clients worth at least $1 billion. Well, Jesus Christ, how many people actually have $1 billion back in the early 80s? I mean, what you got, what's his face? Um, Elon Musk and Bezos. I mean, are they worth a trillion? Yeah. Let's see. I think Elon Musk is the richest guy in the world. Elon Musk wealth. What's it? What's he at? He's Elon Musk, the world's wealthiest person, an estimated worth of 845 billion dollars. Okay, so that's now. I don't know how many billionaires were there in the 1980s. I really doubt there's a whole shit ton in the 80s in the U.S., right? We're talking U.S. I mean, I doubt there's that many all over, but let's take a look. They got a decades list. This is kind of cool, actually. Let's take a look here. So in the 80s, in what was it, 81? He was okay. So in 87, it only goes back to 87. There was only 140 billionaires in the world. That's pretty crazy. I mean, I get it, right? There's not that much money, but yeah, 140. So you're telling me that, you know, we're going to get a whole, and even if there was 140 in America, that wouldn't be enough to work with, right? Because there's plenty of different companies they can go with. I mean, if you get one client, okay, you're all right, but you need probably a few, they bounce around. If you're not doing well with their money, they're going to bounce around, right? So you can't just rely on one. So he doesn't. He gets a relationship with Lexley Wexner. Have you heard that song, I Know Victoria's Secret? And the secret is it was made up by a dude. Well, that dude's name is Leslie Wexner. And that's a great song, by the way, written by Jax, who was on American Idol. And she's great. She's a great singer. You should check her out. One of Epstein's most important connections was Leslie Wexner. That's the tough part to say, right? Founder of L Brands, the parent company of Victoria's Secret. By the late 80s, Epstein had gained significant control over Wexner's finances. Wow, so you're telling me he was working with the dude that had all these Victoria's Secret runway shows, and he could filter those girls over to his island. Okay, well, at least they're legal, but hang on, right? Because we know that he had a whole bunch of people that were illegal too. You got to understand that people are willing to do anything for fame, wealth, and money. And so, well, fame, wealth, and health, right? Those are the three big ones, and relationships and all that. So you might have had some underage people trying to become Victoria's Secret models as well. I mean, even at 17, that becomes a real wishy-washy time period. It's easy pickings for Epstein if he's friends with Wexner, right? It's unfortunate, but Wexner even granted Epstein power of attorney. Holy shnikes, right? So the relationship greatly expanded Epstein's wealth and social access. Wexner later stated that he severed ties after learning of Epstein's misconduct. Okay. So, throughout the 90s and the early 2000s, Epstein cultivated relationships with wealthy, powerful figures in politics, academia, and business. He donated money to institutions and positioned himself as a philanthropist and as a science supporter. Yeah. Did you know that Epstein wanted his DNA to be spread out to like every woman in the world? Does that sound like a reptilian thinking? Right? I mean, if the reptilians wanted to dominate, they'd want their DNA put into every person, right? So they can dominate the world. And the reptilian brain can lie dormant. So even if they were able to get their DNA out to everybody, it could lay dormant. Now, what's really fascinating, if you want to look at him wanting to get his DNA out, the DNA fact was that coronavirus came out around that 2019 period, and he had friends that were working behind the scenes on science, and he wanted to get his DNA out there to everyone. So he may have had a play with this DNA getting into everyone, which would be really fucking gross, because if he was successful and he got his DNA into that coronavirus, then that would mean everybody got part of his DNA. And everybody said they had never seen this kind of virus before. And then they had to make a special vaccine for it. And you got to wonder, okay, if they had to make a special vaccine for it, now, did they put his DNA into the vaccine or did they put his DNA into the virus? I'm just, it's all conspiracy theory. But you know what? A lot of these conspiracy theorists are turning out to be right. Epstein's career trajectory. He had no college degree, entered elite finance. His firm operated with limited transparency. Much of his wealth and influence was tied to a small number of powerful relationships, like Wexner. What happened to him in 2005 to 2008 in the Florida investigation? He had a controversial plea deal. He reportedly had paid an underage person for certain activities. He was arrested by the Palm Beach police and investigated for and recommended multiple felony charges. The case was taken up with the U.S. Attorney's Office, which is, I don't know why the U.S. Attorney's Office, which was led by Alexander Acosta. In 2008, there was a non-prosecution agreement. A non-prosecution agreement? Who would do that? He pleaded guilty in state court to two prostitution-related charges. Okay, and that did include the minor charge as well. And then he served 13 months in county jail with work release privileges. Federal prosecutors agreed not to pursue additional federal charges. You know what this makes me think of? This makes me think that he clearly had somebody getting his back, or he was mentally manipulating the prosecution. Because in most cases like this nature, dude would be gone. He'd be gone. He'd be gone. Minimum 6 to 10 years, right? I'm guessing. I think Florida's a lot harsher actually on their charges and lengths, but he should have been gone for a lot longer. He served 13 months in county jail work release. Dude, this dude clearly got a hell of a deal. The agreement also granted immunity to unnamed co-conspirators, so that's trafficking. When you have co-conspirators, that is trafficking. The deal was widely criticized as unusually lenient. Then he had some civil lawsuits and secrecy battles from '09 to 18. Multiple victims filed civil suits. Litigation sought to overturn the plea deal as well. That's pretty wild. They were definitely trying to overturn that shit. 'Cause they were like, no, that's he got off way too easy on that. Um, Arguing that the victims were not properly notified, a potential violation of the Victims' Crime Rights Act, and the court records were gradually unsealed, revealing more allegations. So, see, this is where it blows your mind, like how much this dude got away with before he finally got arrested for good, I guess. But so 2019 is where the federal charges in New York started. Manhattan prosecuted him with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York. Epstein was arrested July 2019, charged with trafficking of minors, conspiracy to engage in trafficking as well. So prosecutors alleged abuse of dozens of underage girls and New York and Florida, in New York and Florida between 2002 to 2005. Dude, that's so long. 2002 to 2005. He doesn't get arrested until 2019. See, here's my thing, right? Is that we have AI now, right? And AI can go through millions, trillions, billions of documents on the internet looking for, terrorists or anybody that they deem inappropriate. But you're telling me they couldn't find any documentation on this guy? Well, he did code his emails, not utilizing certain words and utilizing others, like pizza and grape soda and other shit, right? And even worse. But the thing is that he didn't use the wrong words in emails, knowing that he was kind of getting tracked anyway. He got busted when? In 2008. So he knew, after that, a ton of these emails that have come out from the Epstein files are all from 2010 to 2012. There's a shit ton of them. And they're all about trafficking and jerky and all this shit. It's all gross, right? But this dude clearly was like operating with impunity. In my mind, the government has the capability and the computer capability of going through all phone calls, all documentation. And even if they can't go through documentation, in my mind, if you've seen that Batman Begins with Morgan Freeman and Christian Bale, where they're like monitoring, I'm sorry, it's not Batman Begins, it's Dark Knight, the Dark Knight where they're fighting Joker. And they got everybody's cell phones up there and they're listening to everybody and they can see everybody because it's creating this image of everyone in the entire city. That's what I think the government could easily have had decades ago, right? How does Epstein operate with impunity for 20, 30 years, right? It doesn't make any sense for the last 20, 30 years. How does he operate? Let's just say it's 20. How does he operate from 2000 to 2019 when clearly we've had cell phones this entire time, we've had email, and they've had satellites. Even if he's on his own island, they can pick up conversations on the island, So how is it that he gets away with this for so fucking long? So long. It's not like you killed somebody and they're dead and they can't say anything. All these people could have said something. And I'm not blaming victims. I'm saying that Epstein probably had some sort of control, some capability to control these people mentally. It's kind of like Charlie Manson. You know how Charlie Manson was able to just tell people to go do certain things, go kill people, and he didn't have to kill people? He didn't actually kill anybody. His dominion did. But he's the one, he's arrested, he's in jail. Prison. So this shit blows my mind. So then, we get into the weirder thing of him being in custody August 10th, 2019, okay? So Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. The New York City medical examiner ruled it a death by suicide by hanging. The FBI and the Justice Department Justice Department investigated his death, fueled widespread public scrutiny and conspiracy theories. No trial occurred due to his death. So he actually didn't go to trial. He was just arrested and awaiting a trial. Meanwhile, his longtime associate. Why didn't you call him? Really? Is she not his wife? I mean, was arrested in 2020. In 2021, she was convicted in federal court of sex trafficking and related charges. She was sentenced a year later to 20 years in prison. So here's the weird thing. Okay, you got Epstein, who killed himself, supposedly, but you also have Ghislaine, I don't know how the fuck you say her name, Maxwell. If she was his associate and he liked her, and they're friends and everything, got barbecue sauce. But if they're friends and everything, why doesn't he get her out? Why doesn't he sneak her out? Why doesn't he use his capabilities to get her out? I would think, and this is where my mind is having problems saying that he is a reptilian or some alien or something like that, is that if he was able to get himself out, how come they couldn't get Ghislaine out? How come they couldn't say she killed herself too and then got her out and put in a body double? Now, there is a video of a guy that sees a woman on the street who looks just like Ghislaine. Just like her, exactly like her. She's got a coat on. And the guy's like, "Oh, hey, Ghislaine." And she turns and she looks. And she's like, "Oh, hi." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not, that's not who I am." And you can look up the video. I mean, it's recent. I think it's in the last day or two. So they found a body double of her too. Now, is it her? I mean, they say each person has 8 twins in the world, not just one, but 8 people that look identically like you. So a lot of people give me the Seth Rogen thing. They're like, "You sound like him and you look like him." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't care." I mean, nah. Seth Rogen's funny. I wish I had his money. That'd be great. I mean, not his money, just the money that is equivalent to what he has. So, I mean, it's just like, are there really 8 twins of us in the world, identical people? And if so, I mean, why didn't the rich and elite swap one of them out for Ghislaine? Maybe they did. Now, that would be a turn. Just take somebody off the street, kidnap them, switch them out for one of your associates in prison. Meanwhile, they're like, "It's not me." But then they'd be able to do the whole fingerprinting and DNA and figure out that's not her. Unless they wiped her fingerprints off, gave her new fingerprints. That would be fucked up and change your DNA. That being said, why didn't they just throw a clone in there? Just throw a clone in there. Swap it out for a clone. Maybe they did. Maybe that's not her. Maybe they got her out too. I mean, because if Epstein is the mastermind and a powerful reptilian, then he could have got her out and put in a clone. I mean, think about this for a second. You're listening to an alien conspiracy podcast where we believe that humans are being abducted. And a lot of the humans that are abducted by Greys. And the Greys take the DNA and they create half human, half alien hybrids. These are the Greys we're talking about. These are like bio creatures, bio robot entities, some of them. Imagine if a higher species wanted to do that and just create another human. They could. Now let's get deeper. Do you remember that Thomas Cook, I believe it was, that sent in that packet of information? It was Thomas something. I have to pull it up. He sent in a packet, and he stated he was a security guard for Area 51. Or Sandy Labs, one of the secret bases. And he said within the bases, they have these huge vats. And there's pictures of it online that he drew out. Which within these huge vats are small clones of humans. and they grow these clones in the vats that are transparent, and there's only one person per vat, but there's dozens of them, maybe hundreds of them, I don't know, thousands maybe. But he drew a few of them, and he stated that they grow a few of them together, like 4 or 5 of them together, and then they separate them in their own vat, and they all grow, and they're all clones. They're human clones. Why would the military need to be growing clones unless we needed more military might, or unless they needed to do something else? Now, I could understand if they were growing clones for needing body part, like, I mean, this sounds tough, but I mean, let's say you needed your own body part, right? Like you're going to die from kidney cancer or something like that. A clone, does a clone have a soul? I don't know. I mean, that's a whole nother argument. But anyway, that's what he said. He said they're growing these clones, and if that's true, then somebody can do it. The military could do it, whoever it was. The military is the one that was in control of these underground military bases, so it's got to be the military. And if the military can do it, they could easily make Ghislaine and Epstein a clone and throw them in prison, make them look like they're in prison. Meanwhile, get them out and continue to do these like demonic things, and these demonic things give power to these evil entities because they thrive on negativity, and so they love it and they want more of it. So if they have other entities committing these atrocities, then it's good for them. So it really is a battle between good and evil. That's what it is. I mean, these people are rising to like grandiose heights, and not being busted for like 20 something years. I understand there's plenty of criminals and murderers and people that get away with crime all the time. But usually those folks are like the murderers, so there's nobody to talk about it afterwards. These dudes are committing atrocities with other people, a whole bunch of associates, and getting away with it. I mean, there's so many people that are named in the documents that reportedly communicated with Epstein about the stuff that they were doing. So it's not just Epstein. It's a whole bunch of people. So I think we're going to see a lot of people getting arrested pretty soon. Can they definitively say that they did it with this coded language? They'd have to probably have some people come forward and make a claim on some of these other celebrities or high profile people, for them to go to prison. But yeah, I mean, it's wild, 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 wild. And it just goes to show you that the folks that are the conspiracy theorists that were talking about Pizzagate, well, now they're vindicated because they were talking about pizza in the freaking emails. And this crazy shit about kids getting shipped around and all this shit that conspiracy theorists have been talking about for forever. I don't talk about it because it grosses me out, and it's not what I want to focus on. But I feel like it's important that we talk about it, because the more it gets talked about, hopefully, the less it happens in the future, because nobody wants this to happen again. So, what else happened? After his death? Well, like I said, I mean, there's been pictures and a lot of people seeing people walking around on the street that look like him and look like Ghislaine. So I don't know. Anyway, is he still out there? Keep your phones handy, because you might be able to snap a great picture and it might be him. So let me know what you think. Put your comments in the comments section. I know these are tough topics to talk about, but it's important for us to be aware of so that we know how to save ourselves in the future. It's important. All right, guys, take care of yourselves physically, spiritually, emotionally. Follow through on your hobbies and your goals and your dreams. And as always, continue to question the universe around you. Until next time, guys, take care of yourselves. And Lockdown Universe is out.